Hello folks, B Junior here from B Junior's Movie Cave on the Endurance Productions YouTube channel. Gonna do a little movie review slash post viewing thoughts video for you today. Hit the red box machine, those are popular now. The movie for today, I literally just got done watching it and I'm gonna be going right back out this afternoon to pick up the Blu-ray should I be able to find it. The movie is Drive. That's right guys. Starring Ryan Gosling in the lead role as the driver. Basically, the man with no name behind the wheel. What can I say? Where do I start? This is a movie that really surprised me. I missed it at the movie theaters. A lot of folks told me to go see it, and for whatever reason, I just didn't make enough time to go see it, and I only wish now I could have saw it on the big screen. Brought this home today, gave it a quick viewing, and I gotta say I was totally blown away. This is an action crime drama, basically, is what it is. It's just one of those movies. The best way I can explain it in a nutshell, it's sort of like an 80s throwback movie in terms of style and the way the movie's shot. That's washed out the back door through Michael Mann's crime drama Heat, with a little bit of To Live and Die in L.A. William Friedkin feel in there. That's where this movie really is. It really feels like you're watching a smaller scale rendition of the movie Heat with the action and car chases thrown in for good measure of Vanishing Point or something like that. Really highly enjoyed this movie. Just kind of go over the story of the movie. I don't want to give too much away if you haven't seen it yet, because I think it was just released on home video either yesterday or today, so I don't want to ruin it. Basically, you have the story of kind of like a no-name fella who just kind of drifts into town a few years prior to where we find him in the movie. And he works part-time as a mechanic and part-time as a stunt driver for movies, but he moonlights, and that's where it gets really interesting. He moonlights as a getaway driver for local thugs and mob types trying to make scores from stealing from businesses and things of that nature, and he just kind of offers his moonlighting services as a getaway driver. And he's very good at his trade. Let me just say that. That's basically in a nutshell to set up the story. Now it gets interesting when he has this kind of pseudo relationship with this girl and her son, and that kind of intertwines with some local small time mob type folks, and there's even a higher back burner level to it of mobbery, if you will, where there's a stolen million in cash that kind of comes in the fold. And I don't want to say anything else, because really what really kept me drawn into this movie beyond the story was the style. It's highly stylistic. It's style in the vein of, I keep saying Heat because that's what it reminded me of, because of the way it was shot with the landscapes, the big wide 2:35:1 ratio of the cityscapes at night of LA and stuff like that. And it kind of reminded me of the crime atmosphere of To Live and Die in LA, with an old 80s William Friedkin movie that I really like. And it has a couple of good car chases thrown in, and just a great atmosphere. It's highly atmospheric for an action movie. It's really, and it's got kind of violence and gore of a decent horror movie, but it's not a horror movie, don't get me wrong in any way. It's basically got well choreographed little action scenes thrown in. This guy, you don't know his background, and I think that's one of the things that reminds me so much of like atmospheric horror movies, is that you don't need to know a lot about this main character that Ryan Gosling plays, the driver or whatever, and that's what makes him mysterious. It's what makes the story go, basically. The script is very, very minimalistic in this movie. People don't say much, but when they do, it actually means something. That's what I took from it. There's a lot of slow pacing in the movie. That's what I like about it. The pacing was excellent because it takes its time. Now, it's only about a 95-minute movie, but you felt like you've been in about a 2-hour epic style movie. But it's basically, and it's not a real big studio movie either. It's not a high budget movie, but you can tell there was some money in the project, and they used it well to give you a decent thing to watch. Basically, the money's on the screen, what they did have to use. Getting back to the style of it and the way it was shot, and like I said before, it feels like an 80s film in terms of the music score and the music selections that are thrown in, sprinkled out throughout the movie. but it's got the violence and gore thrown in of action movies and of the 80s and early 90s. So there's some really good action in this movie. Now, it's not your long epic shootouts like Heat or anything like that, but it's when something wild happens, like a shootout, a fight, or a car chase, it's done well. I can't say that enough. I don't know too much about the director who directed this movie. I don't know if he's done many projects beforehand or if there's going to be more from the director. I just know that the cast involved, there's not a whole lot of big name actors in there. I did notice Ron Perlman's in the movie, the guy that played in Hellboy, and you'll know him when you see him. Basically, he plays one of the mob types in the movie, and Albert Brooks shows up as a mob type fellow in the movie. I just can't say it enough. The fight scenes are well choreographed. It takes its time. It builds character, but it builds character by way of not using a whole lot of useless dialogue in between the action parts and the driving scenes in the movie. That's one of the things I think hurt other action movies like The Expendables. The action movie parts in that movie were top notch, but every time people started opening their mouths and talking, it just felt so forced. You were just like, oh man, shut up, just get to the next action part. Still like that movie, but that's another story. Anyway, getting back to Drive, this movie, I don't think it'll waste your time if you like action movies, but you have a decent attention span. It's not that it's boring, it's just that it takes its time and it builds momentum throughout the movie. I don't think it'll disappoint if you like action movies of that type. If you like car chase movies like Vanishing Point, Gone in 60 Seconds, movies like that. If you like mob movies, you might like this one too, because it's just a decent movie. But now you gotta like some 80s movies too, because it's got that 80s feel to it in terms of characteristic and everything. Costume design in this movie is pretty good too. The guy's jacket, Ryan Gosling's jacket with the big scorpion on the back of it, it's practically like a small character of its own in the movie. It gets all these low panning shots to the back of his jacket and side pan shots to his jacket. More than a couple times in the movie, and so I don't know. I'm gonna get out of here and leave it with you guys. I think that's enough to kind of entice you with it, if anything. I say give it at least a rental, if not run it out and buy it. I'm gonna get off this video today after uploading this and go buy the Blu-ray. I rented the DVD, so I can't wait to see it in crystal clear Blu-ray status. So this has been your post-viewing thoughts movie review of the movie Drive. I don't know, I can't comment on any special features. This is a rental copy, so it doesn't have any behind the scenes or anything. But I can only guess they probably throw a few, at least a couple press junket featurettes and or commentary on the disc. So I say if you like action movies, car chase movies, mob films, go out and buy it right now. But if you don't, if you're just like an average action film fan or a crime drama fan, give it a rental first, see if it's your cup of tea. Rock on, dudes. I'll catch you next time. Take care. Bye.